It's a WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. We are in Clearwater at Baycare Ballpark with Aidan Miller. Welcome to the show, Aidan.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, of course. First of all, how's the back?
It's getting better. I threw today. Getting better every day. Trusting the training staff, what they have for me. And, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. Just kind of woke up one day and was bugging me a little bit, got some treatment on it, and just being super cautious.
So I know you're going to say you don't pay attention to this stuff, but you're not allowed to say that. You have to give me a real answer. When these top prospect lists come out, and this year there was a jump, right? I think you were top 10 in the ESPN one. How does that feel to see your name on that list? Between, I'm sure there's a mix of like excitement, pressure, all that stuff. How does it feel to see your name on that list?
I mean, I know you said not to say this, but honestly, I don't care.
I
don't think it means anything.
Okay.
The prospect lists are nice to look at, but I haven't done anything yet in the big leagues, so it doesn't really matter. So I try to look at it. I stay off, like social media, all the lists, and it's just other people's opinions about me, and I don't feel like it's healthy to look at.
Okay.
I'm sure everything for you as a process sort of helped you get to where you are right now. Building off of what you've done thus far early in your career, what are some of the things you want to get accomplished in this spring that will sort of help you get to where your ultimate goal is, making it up to the big club?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing is just getting healthy, getting on the field, and just being consistent. I feel like this is the year where I finally put it all together and really show what I can do out there. The last couple of years I've had months where some pretty tough stretches, and just avoiding those and being as consistent as I can throughout the whole year.
What happened last year after August 1st that really just allowed you to take off? Because you ended the year crazy hot and got a cup of coffee in AAA, did well there. What kind of happened, you think, around that time?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing was at the plate. I was being more aggressive. Early on in the year, I was getting so many off-speed pitches, going down 0-1, 0-2 early in the count. And, you're down 2 strikes early. It's tough to battle back. So, firing at those breaking balls, tunneling, picking the zones to go at. And, once you get into a groove as a hitter, I always say it's kind of like flow state. And that's kind of how it felt for, 2.5 months. And it's a good feeling. But just being aggressive and just trusting my eyes. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of the strike zone. And, everything just kind of clicking. So,
Aidan Miller with us. So this, you're here at spring training last year, but this year is a year where the potential for you to be with the Phillies is much greater, right? I mean, there's talk of you coming up this year at some point. How do you handle the eyes being on you in a different way, even not just externally, but I'm sure internally? They're asking Bryce Harper about you. Mm-hmm. That's a different thing. So how do you handle this sort of a different situation that you're in than you were in last year?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just staying present. Trying to be where my feet are at every day and not try to look too far in the future, not dwell on my mistakes. Just trying to be where my feet are at all times and, don't let the negatives affect me and just learn as much as I can every day.
What was it like? You walk into the clubhouse, right? And you're like, where's my locker? Where's my locker? And then you see it right next to Harper and Schwarber and Trey and JT. I mean, like, what was going through your head at that point?
I thought it was a mistake at first because I was there early for camp, and there wasn't many lockers up. It was just kind of me and Crawford's, and I was like, oh, surely they're going to move me into the back right corner again. And then camp started, and I was still there, and I was like, maybe it's not a mistake. It was cool. Just being around those guys and just seeing how they go about their business every day has been really fun to watch, and they're all just great professionals, just how they do everything on the field, off the field, and it's been really cool to watch.
What's the relationship like with you and Justin? Right, 2 young guys that are part of the future of this organization moving forward. I'm interested in that sort of dynamic. Do you guys sort of push each other? I'm pretty sure there's a youthful fraternity there with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We're boys. We haven't played many games together during the season. It's been kind of short stints, like a couple weeks, but we're always talking to each other during the season. Send each other texts when one of us has a good game. We're just always rooting for each other, and he's a great dude. He's helped me a lot. Really just how to handle myself on the field. I think he's had a great mentor with his dad, and he's had a lot of good advice. So, the way he carries himself is so beyond his years. And, when I signed, I noticed that early, like, man, this kid's 20 years old, and he almost acts like he's like 30, 35-year-old vet. So I'm always asking him questions, and it's crazy to think he's only 22 years old. And, yeah, he's a stud. But, yeah, he's he's one of my best friends here.
You've primarily played shortstop since you've been with the Phillies, but, Dombrowski was on the air talking about, working you some at third, working you some at second. He said that you even brought up that you had played outfield at some point. How important is it to you, just for your overall focus and feeling settled, to know where you're going to play? And second to that, where do you think that you're best?
Honestly, I don't really care about getting settled at a certain position. I just want to be up in the show. It doesn't really matter where it is on the field. I feel pretty comfortable everywhere. I've kind of, growing up, I was a utility guy for all the teams I played with, so I've played every position out there. So I'm pretty comfortable everywhere, and I just want to be in the lineup, and that's all that matters to me.
So you mentioned growing up. So, Philadelphia Phillies fans know your name now, but they don't know what kind of player you are. So growing up, who would you say your favorite player was? And then if you were to give a player that people would know that is in the big leagues or was in the big leagues that is most similar to how you see yourself, who would that be?
I would say growing up, I loved Evan Longoria. Being from Tampa, I remember sitting outside Rays games waiting to get his autograph after the game, and he was a superstar in Tampa, and it's hard to be that in a small market like that. Just the way he carried himself, and he was the captain of that team and someone I looked up to at a young age and always really wanted to be like him. That's why I started playing third base. I tried modeling my swing after him at a young age. And present, I would say I like Bo Bichette too. I think we're similar in some ways. I know you guys
He's dead
probably
to us.
said
Yeah. We heard enough about Bo Bichette. But that's
currently
cool.
dead to us.
Yeah.
No, but he grew up about 30 minutes from me, so I remember watching him in high school, and he's kind of a guy I watched a lot. So it's been cool to follow his career.
It's got to be pretty cool to, the Phillies are down here for spring training. I don't know how many years this is where they've always been, Clearwater. So having this team in your own backyard, growing up, and now being a part of it, I'm not officially up at the big show, but on your way there. What's that like for you?
It's cool. Last year I lived at my mom's house, so I was driving back and forth from spring training, getting home-cooked meals. And this year I got my own place. I feel like it was time to grow up a little bit and be on my own. But no, it's really cool. I mean, I'm comfortable here. I came up, grew up coming to games here. I remember watching Utley and taking the field with them for a national anthem one time too. So it's so crazy. It all came full circle, and I love it here.
What allowed you to steal 59 bags last year? I mean, you weren't the biggest burner coming out, and all of a sudden you look up every night, Aidan's stolen 2 bags. What kind of allowed you to do that?
I was super aggressive. Not many people think of me as a burner, but I feel like I can move a little bit just because of my size, a bigger dude, big legs. But I've always kind of had that ability to run, and we have a great base running coach in Reading, Michael Jones, who's now the high A manager. He's a wizard with guys to run on, the best counts to run on. He was our first base coach, so he was always there. We were always talking to each other, bouncing ideas off each other. So I think the biggest thing was really getting into video this year. Last year I was just kind of running and just trying to be an athlete. And this year was really diving in, trying to find some weaknesses of the catchers, pitchers, and when you get thrown out too, not getting discouraged by it, and just keeping that confidence to keep going.
Just to focus in on that a little more, could you take us into, let's say you're at first base. What are you looking at? What is going through your head? Take us through the process of stealing a base.
Yeah, it all depends, the situation of the game, and who's hitting. If there's a guy who has potential to drive in a lot of runs, which usually there is if I'm at the top of the lineup, then you want to be smarter. You don't want to run 2 and out. The biggest thing is knowing what pitch to run on. So I always try to pick breaking ball counts. And I did a lot of delayed steals this year too. So Carson DiMartini was batting behind me. He's a lefty, so a lot of the times there wasn't even a throw to second base. Do a little delayed steal, and it was nice. And he liked it too because I was on second base. Makes his job easier.
You never see the delayed steal anymore. It's a lost art.
Yeah.
You should bring that back.
It definitely is a lost. I mean, we did it all year long, and I think we got caught stealing maybe 2 or 3 times the whole year. So if you really can master it, it's a really good play.
Yeah, you look like a pretty good size athlete here. Did you play any other sports in high school?
I played a little bit of hockey growing up.
Okay.
I still love following hockey. I'm a big Lightning fan. Played some flag football. My dad wouldn't let me play tackle.
Yeah.
But I always knew it was baseball from a young age. My dad played professional. My brother played at a high level, so just fell in love with the game early.
Hockey, you watched the USA win the gold?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was tuned in for every game. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, we gotta stop, Florida getting all the cups though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, get it back in order.
It's been the
ridiculous.
last 4, right?
I know. Yeah. It's
It's
insane.
Poor Canada's up there. They're like, this is our sport. How is Florida getting
It's a hockey
Stanley
state
Cup?
for sure.
Yeah.
It can't be a hockey state.
Yeah.
We haven't won a cup since '75.
Have you guys been to a game in Tampa?
No.
It's a great. It's a really good atmosphere. I think like that's our sport in Tampa.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rays are in St. Pete.
Yeah.
The Bucks are solid, but like it's a great atmosphere every night. They sell out, and
Yeah.
it's cool.
So to help people learn about Aidan Miller, I have some like a get to know Aidan Miller section here. So you prepared?
Yeah.
For that? Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, favorite movie, probably Miracle on Ice.
Oh wow, that is a real
How about
hockey
that?
guy
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never seen it.
All right.
Yeah.
You never seen it?
Nah,
You're missing out.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Santai.
Yeah, I did watch Sunday though.
You
I
did
watched
watch Sunday,
Yeah,
yeah.
I watched
Yeah.
Sunday.
Favorite musician of all time? Could be band, individual.
I would say
Rapper.
Well, that's an
Oh, that's not a
individual.
That's not a musician either.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
A
big-
rapper.
I'm a
Yeah.
big Chris Stapleton guy. I like a lot of country, but
Okay. That
like
Fritz
for rap,
likes
I like
country.
Drake,
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
Zach Bryan. So
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, just right
Yeah.
up Jack's alley.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys
Appreciate
got a
that.
lot in
Yeah.
common over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Breaking Bad for sure.
Good
Okay.
answer.
Okay.
If you weren't a baseball player, this wasn't an option for you. What would your next career choice be?
Probably a firefighter. Something that like you still kind of
Wow.
get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
You know, I don't think I would go back to school if baseball didn't work out. So I'd probably do something like that.
Okay. Couple more. Football team you cheer for?
Green Bay Packers.
Now
Big
wait.
Packers
the
fan.
Why isn't it
Packers.
the Bucks?
So my brother was a huge Rodgers fan growing up, and
Okay.
being the younger brother has kind of followed in his footsteps. And
Yeah.
it's been a lot of heartbreak, but I mean they're always good. They're good year in and year
Yeah.
out. But
And
It's tough though, man. It's tough.
which quarterback would you rather have for the next 5 years, Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts?
You can be honest.
You don't have to answer it.
No.
I think you've asked me this before,
I have.
and I said Jordan Love. I'm still going with Jordan.
There
Love.
you go.
Yeah, it's
All
good.
right, all
Yeah,
right.
it's good.
He's a true fan.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would
We're gonna
too.
change you
That's
into
my
an
guy.
Eagles fan though. We're gonna
Yeah,
we're
all
gonna,
right,
we're
all
gonna
right.
get you a little midnight green. Yeah.
All right, two more. Let's say you own a house. Something goes wrong in the house. Are you a guy who's going to try to fix it yourself, or are you going to call someone to do it?
I'm gonna try and fix it.
Okay.
But like, so I just moved into this new place and my AC broke, and
Yep.
I had absolutely no idea what to do.
Call
So
somebody.
the first thing I did was I called the landlord. I'm like, hey, you
Yeah.
gotta come by and check
There you
this
go.
out. So first
Well, I
thing I'm gonna do
guarantee
is
you-
try and fix it, but
None of us know how to fix the AC either.
No.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
way too hard. Yeah, turn it off, turn it back on.
Yeah.
That's about as far as
Yeah.
I go.
turns out it was broken too, so it needs a whole new unit. So we haven't had AC in 3
You
days.
couldn't have
so
done that. Yeah,
It's been
It's
nice.
not that hot though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 70s.
It's been nice down here. Yeah.
yeah. And dog guy or cat guy?
I like both. Growing up, I had both. So
Okay.
I have a dog. I have a German Shepherd right now. We adopted him up in Reading. So
Oh, that's an old school dog, man. A German
Yeah.
Shepherd,
Yes.
man. You
Yeah.
don't see many German Shepherds
No,
anymore.
Taz has German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Which Phillies pitcher would you least like to face?
probably Sanchez. I faced him in lives last year. And he's pretty nasty. His changeup is just to righties. It's tough. And he kind of throws it wherever he wants every time. So
Yeah.
Are you going to be in the big leagues this year?
I believe so.
Ah, there you go.
Hell yeah.
I like that confidence.
Hell
Yeah. Well, you should know before we let you go. That guy over there has built you up to us.
I know.
Like anything below Hall of Fame seems like it'll end up being a failure. So just know that he is setting the bar very high for Aidan.
So that's
Miller.
my expectations too, though. So it's
Okay.
good.
It's perfect.
good.
All right.
Yeah. It is my fault though.
Yes.
And there's a lot of pressure being a Fritz guy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them don't turn out well.
Yeah, once you get to the
he's like a
bigs, you
black
can-
cat.
Yeah, you can switch
That's-
off if you
we
need
don't need to tell him that.
Yeah.
That's how I knew I wasn't playing well when you weren't putting any tweets
I know.
out about me.
I know. But don't after August 1st.
Yeah.
Uptick in Aidan tweets. Uptick in Aidan tweets.
Well, good luck, man. We've heard a lot about you. We can't
Yeah.
wait to watch you play, and we're looking forward to seeing the big leagues as well.
Thank
So,
you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the time today.
Yeah,
brother.
of course.